Death is the oven that cooks the demiurge's food. Matter dissolves into matter, energy revolves, transforms, and from pain there rises thick vapors that strengthen him. His greatest joy is extracted from suffering. Moreover, organic death, provoked by the demiurge, is also the falsification and corruption of an extra-celestial archetype reproduced in the initiation of heroes in mystic magic death. When the Aryan has been given to discover the path of resurrection, and Wotan, crucified on the Yggdrasil tree of terror, has rediscovered the runes. But let us not get ahead of ourselves. We are still in Paradisia, the high polar region, next to the Mount of Revelation. Aesir and Vanir constantly travel to other stars of the firmament, making themselves their own vehicles, their vimanas, disintegrating and remaking their material forms, subtilizing or densifying them. Fossil bones from those distant times have not been found, since the bones do not even exist in animal men, much less in the angels, both of semi-vaporous consistency. The great flaw of demiurgic manufacture is reflected in the economy that has put the reproductive organs confusedly mixed with those for the evacuation of bodily waste. The same mouth that kisses, eats. The original blood of the Divyas was igneous, enveloped in that same blue color that releases the flame. Thus, the color of the body and blood of the Hyperborean was blue, like Krishna and Shiva. That is how they were seen here. Their hair was almost white, gilded with gold-like filaments of silk or wool. The locks of the Aesir and Vanir floated in the winds for millennia under the holm oaks of Hyperborea. Blood was the most precious, a river of cold fire, frozen light. It was the royal way still preserved in the connection of he and she with the monad, with what still remained of the primordial egg, he, she, and she, he, with someone who remained waiting as on the edge of an overflowing fountain, fons perennis. The blood was the golden cord that upheld the union with the unutterable, nostalgia, the voice, memory of eternity. Blood was the memory of the race of immortals, the gods, while that blood was kept pure. And behold, the Aesir mixed their blood. Old texts, the Book of Enoch, tell us about the fall of the angels, the infatuation of the Nephilim with the daughters of men. Like most of the documents, they have been pillaged, and this makes us think there has also been dilution in them. What does daughters of men mean? And what is man? How and when did they appear? No doubt he must also be a plagiary of the demiurge, never a creation, since the demiurge is incapable of creating. Where did he find the original for plagiary? We think, what happened, he and she, once they left the pre-cosmogonic egg, when the demiurgic explosion had reached them? Neither this he nor this she have ontological reality, once separated from their original center. It was easy for the demiurge to imprison them vampirically and produce the involution of the monkey, the great hominids, Neanderthal man, the anthropoids, the animals that are degenerate corruption and subdivision of the he and she, counterfeit and copied. Thus humanity would be he and she corrupted by the demiurge, imprisoned, become mortal. Here we have Adam and Eve. Adam, the red man, made in the image of Lucifer, yet become the corruption of Odin, without the incorruptible matter of true red Vajra, product of the libido of tantric alchemy, hard like rubies. Eve, corruption of Lilith, Freya. They are animal men, robot, machines of the demiurge, his food. But that human woman, daughter of men and earth, preserves something of her primordial beauty in a certain irresistible magnetism able to infatuate the angels, an abyssal feminine substance. Due to death, the demiurge had to endow the physical organs of reproduction, enabling him to multiply his food, and making them able to mix the intense pleasure of orgasm with the pain and blood of birth. In this way, the demiurge prevented death from making his fuel disappear. With birth, he required other he and she couples to incarnate, imprisoning them in his veils. The demiurge found the energy able to create new bodies and give new lives in that igneous blood that he and she still had. Magic fire detached from the pre-cosmogonic eros. Power that is called kundalini in Sanskrit and is a serpent of fire with plumes of fire, the serpent of paradise and Hyperborea, a smallest part of which is expressed in sexual energy and more in the odal force with which Zeus created Athena. Corrupted by the demiurge, it is able to give birth to new bodies like a trap to imprison the nomad, he and she, in his matter. What made the Aesir fall in love with the daughters of men, falling into the snares of reproduction? Legend tells us that a golden cord of gold or silver separated Hyperborea from the other continents of this world. Beyond those limits lived the daughters of men. One day the Aesir saw them and could not resist the temptation of loving them. It must also have been the demiurge who gave the Aesir organs of physical reproduction in their bodies, which they had lacked. Does that imply a pact with the demiurge? Or was this an accepted risk since death went with it along with the loss of immortality? Immense risk, but that could offer something in return never dreamed of, not even by the greatest utopians? Neither would it have been difficult for the divine Aesir to cause organs of physical reproduction to appear in their bodies by means of the power of Odil, separated at first from any other biological function until their demiurgic corruption. The myth reveals the divine ones did not think to make use of sex in a permanent way. Zeus, the Zisso of the Germans, created a son of flesh, Hephaestus, Vulcan, born ugly and deformed. For that he threw him to the center of the earth and no longer procreated in that way. He will give birth to Athena from his head, as we have said. The demiurge creates nothing. Then where did he take his ability to make new beings appear by insemination? Well, artificial procreation is what the demiurge accomplished by human sexuality. Also copy, plagiary, and corruption of the parthenogenesis of the gods. Only the explosion belongs to the demiurge, division as reversal of implosion, divine self-absorption, partition, destruction of totality. We have noted his explosion has also come to be a lever or springboard to go out through the wound or open window in the primordial egg, looking for a quantity that can escape through there. But the egg is not broken, only thins its walls so as to make filtering through or escaping out possible for he and she. And then for he and she. This apparent open wound that will never heal even when the egg continues to exist as monad, as Purusha, as ancestral monad. Thus, as well, demiurgic physical procreation is plagiarized from this prototype. A seminal explosion reaches an egg that has escaped from the ovary through its thinned walls. A cell has filtered through that is predestined to imprison a he or she on earth. What is semen? The blood of the gods sucked by the demiurge and converted into thick substance of white light with the help of an imprisoned ion, Surya, the son of gold. Semen is the odal rune transubstantiated, pale blue fire, the theft of the grail, the annihilation of Kundalini, weakening and death of the serpent of paradise, the serpent of Quetzalcoatl. Semen is the power of the gods thrown into a cesspool. Another way in which the demiurge drinks the blood of the gods, destroying their power and creative will. Therefore, the tantric initiation of Aryan India forbids the ejaculation of semen by its adepts, as a loss of alchemical gold, the aurum potabile. The cosmic planetary catastrophe comes about when an important part of the divine ones, profoundly distracted by their love for the woman of earth, have ceased to fight for the regeneration of matter, little by little losing Odinic power due to the impurity put into their blood by the mixing with animal men. Thus they lost the ability to disintegrate, unable to move their bodies to other less dense planes of the universe and into another direction of time. They come to forget their divine origin, without remembering they were once gods. They think they are equals of mortals. They have lost the ability to re-establish contact with the Divyas and Siddhas of Agartha and Shambhala. They may no longer enter the hollow earth, nor hear the voice of blood memory, due to the impurities from mixing with the Sudras. Asgard, paradise of the Aesir and their immortal ancestors, will have been forgotten. They are thus the true exiles from paradise, from Paradisia, from polar Hyperborea.